So what is AI and why should agents even care about it?
Yeah, it's interesting, Michael. We just passed the 2-year anniversary of ChatGPT, November 30th, 2022, right? But AI
That
has
went
been,
fast.
it's crazy. I mean, it's been like a decade in technology, normal technology. We'll talk about that in a little
Yeah.
bit. But prior to November 30th, 2022, AI has been working in our lives all the time. I mean, Google Maps uses AI, Spotify, Netflix, all these technologies have been using AI with large data, crunching data. I don't know if you know this, Michael. Netflix, 80% of the movies that Netflix recommends people watch because of their habits. So again, that's driven by AI. So nothing new there. But
Yep.
what changed November 30th was now each and every one of us have intelligence on demand with tools like ChatGPT. And we're on that journey now for the last 2 years and obviously looking into 2025. And I think the journey, it's early, but agents need to jump on board because I believe that there will be a separation season. There'll be agents that use AI, people that are just kind of dabbling with it, and we'll talk about the various ways people are using it today and how they can elevate their game. Because Club Wealth is all about elevating your game, right? So, and people are going to make it so integral to their business that it'll create separation season with AI. And that's really, I think we're early, but people need to recognize it. And if you're listening to this show, don't worry with the speed of AI evolution. I've never seen in my lifetime the speed at which it's going, right? So don't worry about keeping up. If you're having FOMO, don't worry about it. Nobody's keeping up. But I try, but I don't succeed. But I think it's important for you to recognize that you need to be on this journey. Do something with AI that you've not done last week. Do something this week. That's my message, and we'll get into that as well. So.
Well, and to your point, when it comes to how quickly AI is growing, the rate of acceleration is incredible, right? It's not just that it's growing exponentially quicker than any technology we've ever seen before. I think personally, and I'm going to go way off on a deep tangent for 2 seconds here, but I really think that the one limiting factor for AI worldwide, particularly in America, is going to be the power grid.
Yeah.
And I really think that's the only thing stopping us from being in Terminator days. We're going to see Arnold Schwarzenegger come around the corner and AI is going to be taken over. But I think that because the AI is so power intensive, so processing intensive, and now with quantum computing, if once the power grid catches up, and I think it's going to take probably many nuclear power plants to really provide the amount of power that AI really needs to really progress to levels that we can't even imagine yet.
Yeah, and all these big, large tech companies, Microsoft, Google, Meta, they're investing in nuclear power plants, like to power the grid. I mean, I read an article recently, $1 trillion has been invested just in 2024 on AI tech. I mean, that is not slowing down. That bus is not slowing down because we're in an AI arms race with these big tech companies, and they want to get to the finish line. There's no finish, but they want to get further than the other competitors. So,
yeah. Well, and to your point, I like that you called it the arms race. Now, look, I don't want to get all crazy here where this isn't going to be about, Armageddon coming and all that stuff. That's not our goal for the call today. But I do think it's a topic that at some point when you and I have maybe a little bit more time, maybe we do another call. I would like to go down that rabbit hole a little bit because honestly, I think there's some real concern. I think if you listen to Elon Musk, for example, I think the more we learn about AI, the more scared we become, and probably rightfully so. And to your point, it is an arms race. And it's just, whether we're talking about in our business, and there's a window. You kind of nailed it, right? There's a window, a period of time where this is going to take over a ton of functions inside our business. And then once we get past the AI component, then it's going to be AI coupled with robotics. And all of a sudden now we don't know where that goes. Like that gets really crazy. So let's just for today, let's bring it back and let's talk about, okay, how can agents learn learn more about AI and how to make AI effective in their business right freaking now, not 10 years from now, but like this year, 2025, how do we learn about it? How do we make sure we're using it effectively?
Yeah, so I think AI starts with knowing the foundation of prompting, right? So prompting is the concept of telling the large language models, like if you're new to this industry, like ChatGPT is a large language model from OpenAI, Gemini from Google, Copilot from Microsoft. It doesn't really matter, but we'll talk about our top tools here. Stay tuned till the end. But it's about the effectiveness of prompting. So most people have played with ChatGPT when it came out, did their first listing description. Now you can look on Facebook and you can call out AI descriptions because they've not learned the skills of prompting. So when you're skilled with AI, and I say this to people, Michael, you know you're skilled with AI when nobody knows you're using AI to do your job. Okay, right. So that's an easy way to think about that. So I have a framework, and we'll include the link in the show notes and give you the links. I have a playbook on my podcast site that talks about a foundation. We call it the 4P foundation. First P is priming, and we'll come to prime. That's the most important part of a foundational mechanism. The next one is prompt. Prompt is the instruction that you're giving to AI. For example, write a listing description, create a social media post. That is instruction for prompting. And then whatever it gives you, you got to polish it, because AI is not a real estate agent. You are. Your word is what's getting out there. You polish it and then choose to publish it. So that's the 4 Ps. I get into a much more detail. You can get the playbook. It's publicly available. It's been viewed by 30,000 realtor agents all over the country. So you're welcome to use it. And make sure you bookmark it, because I update it monthly, if not sooner. So there's new strategies coming in there. And then let's get into prime. So prime is, I have another acronym. What's a podcast in real estate without acronyms, Michael? So, right? So there's only 2 acronyms, 4 Ps, and then RISE. RISE is role, input, steps, and expectation. Let's walk through a live example. So as an example, let's say I'm writing an email to homeowners in my database. I'm just picking that as a use case, with more than 50% equity in their homes, about why selling your home is a good idea. So the role is, you are an experienced, let's say I'm writing an email. You are a world-renowned email marketing specialist that focuses in the real estate industry, bringing stories to life. Let's just say I gave that. And again, there's no right or wrong here, but that's a role. Email marketing specialist is a role. I've heard reports, and I've tried it. If you say you are, it instantly assumes that role. But if you say act as, that is not as powerful as you are. Okay, so just some pro tip. So if that's a role, but let's say you're doing social media. Maybe you're a world-renowned social media expert that is known to create viral hooks and clicks to my destination from my social. So that's a role. Input is what you're giving it now. You're saying the goal is to write an email to homeowners in my database that have more than 50% equity. That's input. If you don't give it that, most people are doing this, Michael. They're just write an email. I want to send an email to my database, thinking why is now a good time to sell. That is AI mediocrity.
Yeah.
Okay? You can call it out when you see it. But if you learn priming and prompting the way we're talking about as a good foundation, then the email comes out. I mean, I use AI for my emails, and nobody knows I'm using AI because it's my tone, my language, all of those things. So that's input. Steps, the other big pro tip I tell agents that I talk to, Michael, is if it's a complex situation, like in this case, you wanted to dig more and learn more about that task before it starts writing it, I say, ask me any questions you have about this task before you generate the output. So then it'll start spitting out, okay, what is the length of the email? That's the other step you got to give it. If you don't specify length, AI likes to please people. So it's going to spit out like 1,200 word email, and that's not what you wanted. So those are all steps. And expectation is obviously the output you want from it. Is it a 1 email? Is it a 3-part email campaign? All those are, inputs and steps and expectations. So 4P and RISE every time you're using AI, and you'll be more skilled than most people using AI today.
Club Wealth is the only coaching company on the planet that will literally guarantee that you will double your income or make at least an extra $100,000 your first year coaching with us, or we will give you 100% of your investment back. Click the link below, sign up for the appropriate tier level, and let's get you a strategy session today. And I promise you, I 100% guarantee you, promise you that you will walk away with a heart full of gratitude for the time that we took for you, because you got so much value out of that call. Schedule your strategy session today. I promise you'll be glad you did.